Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing the Samsung Galaxy A50s. Now this is the next iteration for the Samsung A50 and it definitely brings in a lot of cool new features. Normally with any upgrade, we see an improvement in performance or cameras. But with this phone, we got a lot of cool stuff like a new 48 megapixel camera. Now this phone also supports Samsung Pay, which is usually found on mid-level flagship phones from Samsung, usually the Samsung A70 and A80 series phones. So that's pretty cool. This phone also has super steady mode, which has been a flagship feature until recently. So a lot of cool things. By the way, it's a retail phone, so you can buy it both online and offline, and it starts at 21,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. Next variant is priced at 23,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's available in 3 colors: Prism Crush Black, White and Violet. And we have the white color with us right now. So guys, without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. So guys, here's the box. Now the box packaging and the overall design looks pretty similar to the previous Samsung A series phones. They seem to have the same design. And on the front, it simply says Samsung A50s, and on the left side, it says the full name. That's the Samsung Galaxy A50s. On the right side, it's completely plain as usual. And on the back side, we have some of the highlighting features. Now the most important things about this phone would be that Infinity U display, triple camera setup, on-screen fingerprint scanner. Besides that, my favorite feature on this phone would be that Samsung Pay, which I'll show you in a minute. Besides that, we also have some other specifications. I'll talk more about them in a second. So for now, let's just quickly get on with the unboxing. So that's it. So once we open the box, we have another box over here. Let me just remove that first. So over here, we have the SIM card ejector, and inside it, we probably have a case along with some documentation. And I was right. So we have a quick start guide, followed by regional log guide information, and finally warranty card information. Now this is the free silicone case that we get inside the box. It's not completely transparent, it has a slight tint to it. We'll check this out later. Next we have the phone itself in the prism white color, and following that is a 15-watt power adapter. So here we go, this is the Samsung fast charger with a maximum output of 15 watts. Next we have a USB Type-C charging cable, and finally we have pretty old style earphones, which I'll recommend you to keep it inside the box. So guys, these are all the contents of the box. Now let me just put everything aside and come back to the phone. Now here's the phone in plastic wrapping. Let me just remove that. It just has a single sticker on the back with IMEI numbers, which by the way you can remove and it'll not cause any issues with warranty. And now it's gone. So guys, this is how the Prism Crush White looks on the back. It looks pretty similar to the Samsung A30s we have unboxed, which by the way also comes in white, but this one has slightly more cuts to it. Anyway, this is how the phone looks on the front. Now let's have a quick physical overview. On the back, this phone has a curved back panel. It is probably made of fiberglass, and beneath it we have that crushed prism look, and as I've told earlier, it looks pretty cool. Now as this phone has a fiberglass, it's obviously slippery and it does attract a lot of smudges, but because of the white color beneath it, smudges are not that visible. Now at the top, it is a triple camera setup followed by the single LED flash. Beside that, it has a Samsung branding, once again in white, and that's pretty much invisible because of that white background. At the bottom, it is completely plain. Now on the front, you get that massive Infinity U display with a dot notch. Inside the notch, we have the front facing camera, and above that, we have a small earpiece. Below the display, it's completely plain and it has a pretty big chin, especially considering the price. Now for the sides, on the right side, it has the power and volume buttons. Seems to be made of plastic. They have a nice clicky feel to them, but I wish they were slightly more elevated. At the top, it is a secondary microphone for noise cancellation. On the left side, it has a SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. Finally, at the bottom, it is a 3.5mm audio jack followed by the USB Type-C charging port, primary microphone, and the speaker grill. By the way guys, this central frame seems to be made of metal and it feels pretty strong. Now this phone has a thickness of 7.7mm and weighs just 166 grams. This phone has a massive 4000 mAh battery and still weighs just 166 grams. In hand, it doesn't feel all that heavy. So that's a pretty great feat from Samsung. Even in terms of thickness, it feels super sleek. By the way, these are the SAR values. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. It has a tiny bit of tint to it, that's why white color looks in this way. It has a very tiny raised lip for the camera module and even for the display. Whenever you place your phone on its back or on its face, it will protect the camera module and the display, but that protection is almost negligible. You can use this case for a couple of days, but for long-term usage, I would recommend you to get a better case as soon as possible. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel primary camera with f2.0 aperture. That's followed by a 5 megapixel secondary camera with f2.2 aperture for taking portrait shots. Next, it has an 8 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture and 123-degree field of view. For selfies, it has a 32 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. On the front, it has a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED Infinity U display with Full HD Plus resolution with the new 19.5:9 aspect ratio, giving it 91.6% screen-to-body ratio. Samsung says this phone has 91.6% screen-to-body ratio, but looking at the bezels, I seriously doubt that. Now when it comes to performance, this phone has Samsung's Exynos 9611 octa-core processor with 4 Cortex A73 cores and 4 Cortex A53 cores with Mali G72 MP3 GPU. Currently the variant that I have comes with 6GB of LPDDR4X RAM with 128GB of UFS 2.1 storage. It will be running Samsung's One UI based on Android 9.0. Finally, powering this device is a 4000 mAh battery that supports fast charging up to 15 watts. By the way, this phone also has an NFC, Bluetooth 5.0, and even has Samsung's flagship feature, Samsung Pay, which was earlier seen on Samsung A70, which was priced way above this phone. So guys, those were the complete specifications. Now let me turn on the phone and quickly set it up and come back to you in a second. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on. This is the default launcher and these are all the apps that come pre-installed. There is a bit of bloatware and you can uninstall them just by doing a long press and then click uninstall. And there you go. So if there is any application that you don't use, uninstall them immediately. Now let's check out the RAM and storage information. So guys, out of that 6GB of RAM, we get about 3.3GB of RAM free out of the box, and out of that 128GB of storage, we get about 107GB of space for our user apps and user data. Now let's check the about page. This phone is running Samsung's One UI version 1.5 based on Android version 9, that's Android Pie. And right out of the box, it is a August security patch. It is pretty good and it might get the September security patch pretty soon. So I'll keep you posted on Instagram and Twitter. Now let's check out the camera interface. By the way guys, cameras on this phone are supposed to be really good. So here's the interface for the rear camera and it looks pretty similar to all the Samsung phones. You have a toggle over here to switch between the primary camera and the wide angle camera. I'll show you sample shots later. So for now, let's go on. Now on the right side, we have video recording and we can record video using the primary camera, or else we can also use the wide angle camera. Now on this phone, you also get super steady mode and you can access it from here. Once you enable it, your phone will use the wide angle camera and give you a super stable footage. Here's a quick sample. Now this video is recorded using the super steady mode, which is supposed to keep the footage pretty stable, and now I'm just walking around so you can check out the stabilization offered by this phone. In super steady mode, we can only record video in 1080p resolution. If you're not using that, you can record video even in 4K resolution. By the way, even when you're not using super steady mode, this phone has electronic image stabilization, but if you want the best stabilization, try using the super steady mode. By the way, here's a quick sample from the regular camera. Now this is the footage recorded using the primary camera at 1080p resolution. Once again, audio is from the phone itself, so check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered by the phone. This phone has electronic image stabilization and I have already turned it on. And as you can see, footage looks pretty decent. It has a wobbly effect, but it is pretty usable. And the wide angle camera. Now this is the footage recorded using the wide angle camera. When we record with the wide angle camera, we can only record at a maximum of 1080p. This phone has support for 4K video recording, but it's only supported with the primary camera. And even with the wide angle camera, there is stabilization. It looks pretty cool. Next we have super slow motion. Here's a quick sample. Next we have slow motion video recording, which gives us more control over the duration. And here's a quick sample. Next we have hyperlapse, which allows us to take time-lapse kind of videos but while moving. Now if we go to the left side, we have the live focus mode, which allows us to take portrait shots for the rear camera. And on this phone we can change the amount of background blur effect we want before taking a picture. And even after taking a picture, you can change the amount of background blur effect you want. Next we have Pro mode, which is pretty good, followed by panorama. This phone also has panorama for the wide angle camera and the primary camera, which is pretty rare to see. Next we have night mode. According to Samsung, night mode on this phone is supposed to be really good. So here are some sample shots. Finally we have the food mode. Now this is the interface for the front facing camera, and as usual, by default you get the crop mode. If you want to take a wide angle selfie, you need to use this toggle over here. Next we have regular video recording. For front camera video recording, there is no super stabilization mode. We can just record video in 1080p resolution. By the way guys, initial impressions, camera quality seems to be really good. Next we have live focus mode, which is portrait mode for selfies, and once again you can change the amount of background blur effect you want using the slider over here, which is a very unique feature. Most phones usually don't give you the option to change the background blur effect for selfies, and Samsung does that. So it's a pretty cool feature. Now these are some more sample shots taken with the front and rear cameras. And some portrait shots as well. So guys, now let's test the speaker loudness. Guys, as you have seen, this phone has Dolby Atmos, but it only works for headset, not for the speaker. And speaker so far sounds surprisingly loud. Guys, speaker on this phone is surprisingly loud. It's gonna be great for media consumption, ringtones and alarms. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up, so here we go. That was surprising. Let's try it again. So fingerprint scanner seems to be working well. It's not fast. It is still as slow as the Samsung A50. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slow, sometimes it works, and sometimes it's not working at all. So guys, that was the fingerprint scanner. It is fast, it is kinda usable, but not as fast as Realme X, Realme XT, or even as the latest OnePlus phones. Now let's test Face Unlock feature. Once again, I've already set it up. And as you have seen, it is super fast. Probably fastest Face Unlock feature I've seen on a Samsung phone. It can be comparable with Oppo and Vivo phones. Still not as fast as those phones, but still pretty good. And this is definitely much faster than the fingerprint scanner. And if possible, I'd rather use the Face Unlock feature instead of the fingerprint scanner. It is that good and it is that fast. Now let's test it in low lighting conditions. Even in low lighting conditions, it is working and it is pretty fast. It's definitely usable. Now let's test it in complete darkness. And even in complete darkness, it is super fast. Probably has to do something with the front camera. So guys, that was Face Unlock feature. It is definitely usable. It is pretty fast in all lighting conditions. Probably the fastest Face Unlock feature I have seen on a Samsung phone. Now let's check some of the unique features on this phone. Now the first one would be the Samsung Pay. You can access it from the bottom of the screen. Just swipe up and it will trigger Samsung Pay. Normally on most phones under 20,000 rupees, even on the Samsung A50, we got the Samsung Pay Mini. But on this phone, we have the complete Samsung Pay, which allows us to use the phone to make transactions without using any cards. I'm not talking about Paytm or UPI mode of payment. You can use your phone instead of your credit card or debit card, and that's a huge feature. By the way, this phone also has NFC that's gonna help you pair to devices quickly and also help you make some payments. Next, this phone also has a sidebar that we usually see on flagships or on pricey Samsung phones. And you can also customize this list. You can go to settings and tweak it to your preference. So that's another unique feature. Next, this phone also has a night mode. Just in case if you didn't know, you can access it from the toggles and enable night mode. Then all the UI elements will change to dark. It'll help you save some battery. Your phone will look much more cooler. And obviously, it'll help you strain your eyes less at night. So it's all a win-win situation. Finally guys, this phone also has knock security, which is once again a flagship level feature for Samsung. Now before I conclude, these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So guys, this is the Samsung Galaxy A50s. When compared to the A50, it does pack a lot of performance, brought in a lot of cool new features, but still at that price, it's not the best pick. If you're looking for a Samsung phone in the retail market in this particular price segment, then you can consider this phone. With that said, I would still not recommend you this phone over other online exclusive phones. So guys, this is the Samsung Galaxy A50s. Now just like on the spec sheet, product page, this phone turned out to be really good and it's definitely a significant improvement from the Samsung A50. And main highlighting features would be the camera features and they do look pretty good. Even the camera performance has been improved from the A50, especially that super steady mode really works. So overall, it's a pretty good phone, but the pricing could have been better. Now this is a retail phone, so I'm not going to complain too much. So if you're looking to buy a phone in the retail market in this price segment and you want a Samsung phone, then this is something that you can definitely consider. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone online, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag #GreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.